Hair typing is so controversial and so many people get it wrong. The best way to actually see what hair type you have is to wash and deep condition your hair first and then look at the curl pattern while it's wet. Looking at curl patterns when hair is dry, when it's very dry, only makes it seem as if the hair is kinky and coarse, but that can be misleading. Hey guys, it's your girl Tamika, your online hair care teacher, and I'm here to teach you how to get healthy hair, grow healthy hair, and keep it that way. I want to do a little quiz. Can you guess the hair type? I'll be showing you 6 beautiful heads of hair, and I will describe certain things about them. Afterwards, you will guess the hair type and post it in the comments below. And be sure to watch to the end for a bonus. Client number 1, she had a good amount of length and thickness to her hair. It was a little bit tangly, but we got through that with using the Lengthy Strands Mega Moisture Deep Penetrating Conditioner. It was very responsive to the conditioner as well. Her hair was a little bit wiry, a little bit coarse, but still soft to the touch, and it absorbed water pretty well. Her hair does have a fair amount of shrinkage to it, but if you look closely, you can see how springy her curls are. They bounce back very nicely, and her hair is in a very healthy state. One thing I do want to say is this. Most people have more than one hair type on their head of hair, or I would say hair texture. Some people might have 2, some people might have 3. I've seen as many as 4. So you might have, 3/4 of your head of hair with one hair type, and then the other quarter of your head of hair with another hair type. So that is very common. Do not forget that. Very important information. So what hair type do you think she has? 3B, 3C, 4A, 4B, or 4C? Client number 2, her hair was very dry and it was coarse and kind of tight to the scalp. It breaks easily and she has issues with retaining length. She has to trim often. Also, her hair dries very quickly, so she has to moisturize regularly to keep her hair from being dry. I would say every single day. It did respond well to the conditioning treatments that we did on her hair, and so her hair came out soft and actually very well moisturized, and it looks a lot healthier after the treatment that we did. So I want to give you just a little bit of extra time to be able to scope out her hair and her curl pattern so you can see exactly what you think about it. And here is like a front view so you can see like her curl pattern. But her hair is very tight to the scalp and it dries very quickly. So what hair type do you think she has? 3B, 3C, 4A, 4B, or 4C? Client number 3. So her hair was fluffy and soft to the touch. She had very fine strands, but she did have a lot of fullness to her hair. Even though her hair did dry very quickly, it absorbed water very well. And after using the Lengthy Strands conditioner on her hair, it softened her hair up even the more and helped define her curl pattern some. So I want you to look closely at her hair. She does have a good amount of shrinkage, but take a look at her curl pattern so you can determine what you think. So what hair type do you think she has? 3B, 3C, 4A, 4B, or 4C? Client number 4, her hair was very soft and fluffy. She had an incredible amount of shrinkage. This is a shrinkage on her hair when it's wet. But when she first came in, her hair was dry. This is after the conditioning treatment. And her curl pattern is actually more defined after the conditioning. But when she came in, her hair was drawn up to the scalp completely. so you couldn't really see what was going on because she had like so much shrinkage. But her hair is soft, fluffy, and bouncy, and it was very tangly too. It was very hard to detangle, and it took a very long time to detangle. Even once I started putting the conditioner and everything on her hair, it was still very hard to detangle. But it did absorb water very well, and it did not dry quickly. So it allowed me to be able to do some things with her hair without having to respray it. So I am going to give you a little bit of time to take a look at her hair and her curl pattern to determine what you think. So what hair type do you think she has? 3B, 3C, 4A, 4B, or 4C? Here we have client number 5. Her hair is very full and fluffy, and it absorbs water very well. She has a good amount of shrinkage, and her hair does detangle very easily, and it was very responsive to whatever I did to it. Because her hair absorbs water very well, it also didn't dry too quickly. So I didn't have to go back and keep respraying her hair. The water was already there, so all I had to do was put my heat protectant on before we started. So now I'm going to give you just a little bit of time to take a look at her curl pattern, see how I'm handling her hair, and see what you think about her curl pattern. So what hair type do you think she has? 3B, 3C, 4A, 4B, or 4C? Client number 6. Her hair was very soft to the touch, and it was very smooth and silky. Her hair also absorbed water extremely well, and she has more of a defined curl pattern. She did have a pretty good amount of shrinkage to her hair, but her hair was also very easily detangled, especially once I put the conditioner on, Lengthy Strands Mega Moisture Deep Penetrating Conditioner. Her hair responded very well to that, and her hair absorbed water very well, but it did not dry very quickly. It was very easily handled and very easily managed hair. So take your time, look closely at her curl pattern, and determine what you think. So what hair type do you think she has? 3B, 3C, 4A, 4B, or 4C? Did you guess right, or were you confused? Post in the comments below. Was it hard to figure out? Are you confused about your own hair type? Have you asked numerous people, even professionals, and got a different answer every single time? I'll tell you why. The funny thing about hair typing is, as with everything else like this, it is very subjective, meaning it varies depending on the person looking and their perception of the coils and curls. So many people get hair typing wrong, and that is why hair typing is not as important as you think. In my opinion, even though I'm sure that hair typing was meant to help, it turned into a way to divide people even more. It made the whole good hair, bad hair thing stand out even more and cause more comparison between people. Instead of focusing on hair type, you need to know what your hair porosity is. Knowing this will be a game changer because it will allow you to focus on the needs of your hair instead of the physical characteristics of it. My hair care line, Lengthy Strands, is suitable for all hair types, providing moisture, manageability, and helping you retain length and grow your hair long. Check out my products on lengthystrands.com. So I'll be doing a free hair care class on Tuesday, March 12th. So if you are interested in attending, sign up to be notified of the class by clicking the link below. Now for the bonus. So what is hair porosity? Porosity is the ability to absorb and retain moisture in the hair shaft. There are 3 different types of hair porosity. We have low porosity, medium irregular porosity, and high porosity hair. Even though hair porosity is genetic, There's other factors that can determine what your hair porosity is, including environment, heat, and chemical processes. So if you don't know what your hair porosity is, there's a simple test that you can use to determine what your hair porosity is. It's called the float test. You take a glass of water at room temperature and you take a strand of clean, dry hair and put it into the glass. If the hair sinks to the bottom, it's high porosity. If it floats to the top, it's low porosity. If it kind of like floats around the middle of the glass of water, then you have medium porosity hair. So that's a really super duper test to determine what your hair porosity is. Let me tell you some of the characteristics of low porosity hair. So the hair takes a long time to get fully saturated. Like when you're shampooing your hair, a lot of times you can just like wet, and it seems like the water's just kind of beating up on your hair. And it also takes a long time to dry, and then products tend to build up on the hair very quickly instead of absorbing into the hair shaft. And also the natural oils don't readily penetrate into the hair, so you find it hard to kind of keep your hair moisturized. But once it is moisturized, it stays moisturized for a long time. Medium porosity hair tends to absorb and retain moisture very well. So high porosity hair tends to get tangled easily. It doesn't retain moisture as well. It often looks like it's dry. It requires way more product than the other porosity hair. And then it does dry very quickly and it absorbs water very quickly. So for low porosity hair, if you find it hard to get the moisture into your hair, one thing you can do is be sure to use heat whenever you're conditioning your hair, and also whenever you're applying products to your hair, you can heat them up and put them on your hair. And whenever you're shampooing your hair, also be sure to use water as hot as you can stand it. That way the cuticles can be blasted open to be able to receive the conditioner and other nutrients that you want to put in. So high porosity hair needs heavier products and also lots of moisture and protein, so you have to find the right balance there. So I hope by me explaining hair porosity that it will help you figure out what your hair porosity is. That way you can go on ahead and figure out what products work well for your hair porosity. Hair porosity is very important in determining what products will be well suited for your hair. I hope you guys have an amazing, blessed day, and I'll see you in the next class. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.